Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation, and right now I am just here to nerd out about World Eaters. I am super excited about this book. I definitely enjoy what we're seeing with it. And so this is going to be just kind of a reaction video, specifically focused around the Deamonkin detachment. I'm going to talk about some other stuff floating in there, but the detachment I am most excited about and I'm most ready to start running and bring here on the channel is going to be the Deamonkins. As you can see right here, I got him. I just got him all built up. Just got him for my collection. We got Scarbrand. He is going to be a huge, huge beast in this codex because one of the things that I know a lot of people were not very happy about is our loss of advance and charge. But now we got more move on things. And realistically, like I've rolled ones and twos for advance rolls, especially during advance and charge, and see things go sluggishly across there. Okay, cool. We just got 2 inches and we don't need to have advance and charge up, and we got plus 2 inches. So there's a lot to be said there. And then there are still some units that have advance of charge. Bam. Scarbrand. Such a nightmare. Angron, in my opinion, is trash. And I don't think he's trash for how they changed some of the abilities. I think he's trash for how they changed one ability. We'll talk about him a little bit too. So, but a lot of things like World Eaters, it's going to be interesting. We got changes to the blessing table, a lot of things taken away. Now we have access to devastating wounds are coming up there. Reroll charges is very easy, and I think that's a very positive one that you basically just need doubles to get it. And now the icons are giving you additional dice instead of rerolls. I mean, kind of the same thing, but not really. I think the extra dice makes it easier to do things than it was to re-roll dice and kind of pick and choose. Like, okay, maybe I get this, maybe I need this. I have two twos over here. Do I try and go for a triple 2 and pitch this 1-5, or do I keep? There's a lot more things to think about in there that now I think makes it easier and maybe faster as well too. And then for me, the Blood Tithe, which I'll be using during this, where you get points for destroying units that you can then spend on abilities you keep for the rest of the game. Not the strongest detachment buff, but it's the detachment itself and the fact that you have access to demons that make this awesome. So all in all, my first opinion on generally on World Eaters, like a lot of people are definitely upset that we lost advance and charge. I feel it because this is a advanced assault army, but we got that boosted move. And I feel like as more games come under, having the boosted move is going to be more important than having advance and charge. I think that we're going to be able to get into corners, score secondaries, get on objectives and everything else. Because now with that +2 move, especially if you do advance, you basically have D6 +2 for what you would originally have to just get on an objective. And so I think that I personally really like the bonus move overall. So I think it's not going to be that bad. And there are still things that can advance and charge, one of which being Scarbrand. So Scarbrand, in my opinion, has outweighed Angron entirely. Angron won and lost games. He's still very expensive. 385 points, as we're kind of seeing now, the points are settling down to what they're going to be. At 385, he's still kind of expensive. He can come back, but if he comes back, you lose any other Blessing of Khorne for that battle round. Okay, sure. He comes back with half his wounds. Okay, sure. He cannot rapid ingress because he just arrives the next movement phase, 9 inches away. He arrives using the wording of the Deep Strike rule, but he doesn't get placed into strategic reserve, so therefore he cannot rapid ingress. So all that stuff got brought down. His, whatever it is, the something of infinite fury or whatever, his ability that you get to pick one of the 3 abilities, and it's an aura effect. To me, those are where we lost it. I think those should have been a lot better. I think those should have been a lot stronger. Should have been a lot more about army support. I mean, one of them lets you re-roll 6 of your blessing dice, and I don't see a lot of value behind that. And I think that's where Angron drops off. Everything else is fine. Everything else got tuned down. That's fine. But those abilities alone, that's rough. In exchange, we get Scarbrand. Scarbrand, who is also toughness 11, but let's give him 20 wounds. He's got a 10-inch move, so he's a little slower. But wait, he advances and charges all the time. So he can advance and charge and potentially move faster than Angron. Angron's got wings, so he's got wings. They're just busted and that stuff. But anyways, Angron's got fly. Okay, he has advance and charge. In combat, they're both pretty comparable to each other for the damage output that they can put out there, except he's giving a +1 attack bonus to all Blood Legion, which is demon units that are coming out of this codex. So he's giving them all +1 attack on top of the fact of his advance and charge. So he's just nasty on all aspects of it. And then again, 20 wounds with a 3-up, 4-up. And he's 305 points. So he's 80 points cheaper than Angron. The Bloodthirster is also 305. So that's very nice there too. But the big thing with Scarbrand is the fact that he can advance and charge and gives +1 attack to all of their demon units, especially with this Deamonkin detachment, where I'm going to have some demons in it. So, yeah, Scarbrand definitely outshines him big time. The biggest thing I could say for taking the Bloodthirster is the ability to take enhancements. But to me, Scarbrand is just so good. The advance and charge is going to be huge to be able to get him that extra range. And he smacks. He smacks like the other ones do. So kudos to Scarbrand. Now's your time. Moving on. Still staying on like so out of all the detachments, the one that appealed to me the most was the Deamonkin. I do like some of the other ones. The Berserker Warband looks really cool. That's the generic one that's now gotten tweaked. It's definitely different. So a lot of the detachments that came out of the Index pretty much look the same with a couple of tweaks to them to modernize them for what the rules are being, just making some small things. This one actually feels almost like an entirely different detachment because of some of the changes that happen to other units. Khorne Berserkers dropping from strength 5 down to strength 4. This detachment gives them that +2 strength. So units like Khorne Berserkers definitely shine out of this detachment by themselves. And then when you look at other things like Khorne Berserkers being able to be taken in squads of 20 now, with the Blood Surge being D6 +2, that changes a lot of things within this detachment. A 20-man brick of Khorne Berserkers can actually be pretty scary scooting across the field on Blood Surges, being able to get really close to your opponent, and then smack them in the face with some Strength 6 axes. So yeah, Khorne Berserkers have a kind of different role in that aspect. The detachment looks really cool. You are still going to see some other units in there. Khorne Berserkers definitely get the biggest pop because of them getting that strength bonus here. But Khorne Berserkers are actually going to see a lot of play in a lot of different detachments, including Goretrack Onslaught, which Goretrack Onslaught looks really strong, really good. The only thing I don't like about it, this is literally my only complaint, the list is very linear. Rhinos and Khorne Berserkers. The Rhinos, now, if you didn't know, have a reactive ability, we'll call it. If you move within 9 inches, Berserkers can disembark. Just get out of the vehicle. You shoot at them, they get Blood Surge. They land on an objective. Whatever strategy you have, that's huge. To be able to just disembark because your opponent got too close. I like it. It's very cool, very unique. And I think with some tech, it allows World Eaters to have more tech out of just run at your opponent and eliminate them before they can do anything. Now there's a lot more tech behind a similar strategy where you're still running at your opponent, but then you have reactions based on what they do and how close they get and how much they want to go after your army. So Goretrack Onslaught, any unit that disembarks, you get Lance and +1 to charge. Beautiful. Easy, simple, beautiful ability. If there's strats that if the Rhino gets shot at but it survives, the squad can disembark and then immediately Blood Surge. So if the opponent gets close and don't blow up the Rhino, you can go rushing into a squad, and since it's your opponent's turn, you'll get to fight first. Because remember, Blood Surge, you can end an engagement range. So there's the Blood Surge, there's the Goretrack Onslaught. Oh, and then a strat to move a vehicle through a wall. No, I'm sure every single player in this game loves the idea of Kool-Aid Manning a Land Raider through a wall and just going high. Oh, and by the way, did we mention that World Eater Land Raiders, while their ballistic skill, while most things ballistic skill went to a 4, they have rapid fire? Las cannons? Okay, so within 24 inches, I now got 8 shots las cannon with the Land Raider. Cool. I'll take force to hit. I'll take that and the or a large pizza. That sounds good. That's great. Plus the assault ramp. And then let's say you get some Terminators out of there, man. You know, maybe shoot with their combi bolters. If they shoot at the closest eligible target, they get full reroll to hits. So how many shots is that? Well, the combi bolter is 2 shots with rapid fire 4. 6 shots per Terminator? Yeah, it's no AP, but it's 6 shots per Terminator. That's a lot. And I mean, if they shoot the closest eligible target, they can reroll the hits. So play that nicely and finagle it. You shoot them, they could charge through a wall. It's something else. So here's the kicker there. Remember, it's eligible target. So if the Terminators can't see a unit that's behind a wall, but that unit is closer, they can still shoot at a different unit that's the closest eligible target, get the full rerolls hit, then charge that unit and get reroll charges because they're eligible to charge them. They're not eligible to shoot them, but they're eligible to charge, and they can get the rerolls that the Terminators get for that charge. So Terminator is really cool. I'm just having some trouble locating them. It's one of 2 units I'm having a lot of trouble locating, actually getting the models for. Number 1 is Terminators. I need Chaos Terminators. I definitely need those bad. Number 2 is the Forge Fiend. I need a Forge Fiend, like yesterday. So the Forge Fiend, much like I mentioned with everything else, they went to Ballistic Skill 4, and it has rapid fire. I'm definitely want to hear some World Eater players' comments in here. While the Ectoplasmic Cannon looks cool, I'm really liking the Hades Autocannon. Hades Autocannon is 36-inch range. Now, granted, the Forge Fiend can get full rerolls to hit if shooting at the closest eligible unit that is also within 18 inches. So it's got to be close and forged to hit. The Hades Autocannon, now it's 2 of them, not twin-linked. So you have 2, which each one has 6 shots apiece at rapid fire 4. 10 shots per autocannon, and when you're within 18, that's right there, 20 shots coming off this thing. That's just one of them. Now, granted, I would love to get 2, but first things first, I just want to get my hands on one of these guys and just be able to do that because, again, when we get over to the Deamonkin stuff and I start talking about that, there is some nasty, nasty tech that can be played out of this thing. So World Eater players kind of curious on how you're feeling about it. Are we leaning towards a Hades autocannon right now? Or are we still looking at the ectoplasmic gun? Because I know we needed some shooting, and I was always holding off on some of these chaos aspects of shooting until we saw the codex in case stuff got removed. I also do like the Predator. 24 inches, now your las cannon goes from 1 shot to 3 shots, rapid fire 2. Okay, that's pretty cool. But all in all, I still think the Forge Fiend is really going to be the stronger choice. I don't know. I didn't look at the points. I know the points for the Forge Fiend is 150. I didn't look at the points for the Predator, but I mean, it might be a little bit cheaper, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really offset that 20 shots of autocannon coming off of the Forge Fiend. So yeah, pretty cool there. I guess we can start getting over into some of the Deamonkin stuff. We'll leave with one last note is going to be the Chaos Spawn. They're amazing. Chaos Spawn are amazing. You got a 10-inch move, 9-inch scout move, advance and charge. And then they're D6 plus 4 attacks. Those guys are so cool. For 80 points, they can just rush up onto an objective, charge some things, squibble their hands at it, and take out enough units to take the objective away. Or go do some secondary actions and be, okay, they're 80 points. They're cheap. They're nothing for 2 of these dudes. It's crazy. In that 10-inch move, they're just such an awkward threat. Because then even if your opponent leaves them alone and they're behind a wall doing sabotage or holding an objective or completing a secondary, then the next turn, when they don't have anything to do over there, they're going blitzing out through the wall, charging at your opponent and run into something. It doesn't even have to be something that they can take out. They move into a shooting target and just tie it up. Something like Dev Centurions, charge, hold them, and go, okay, well, you're not doing anything. Now, we're going to move into this Deamonkin detachment. As far as the other ones, the 8-bound one and the idle one is, I like it. I like the concept of it. Not exactly a big fan of using a ton of jackals in that aspect, but we'll give it a look later on. The one that does all the 8-bound stuff, it's kind of the same way that I feel with like the Berserker and the Gore Track, the 8-bound, you're looking at only a few data sheets that you're using, because you're using the 8-bound because they get the buff. You're using the vehicles and the berserkers because they get the buff. You're using big bricks of berserkers out of the other one because they get the buff. Yes, there's other units you're slapping in, but ultimately a big bulk of your force is built around like 1 or 2 data sheets. And I would like a little more variety. Granted, sometimes that's what it comes down to when you're building an army, but right off rip, I'd like a little more variety, because I feel like building into those builds later on, when people know how to handle them, or if they get nerfed, it means there's going to be less bounce back, because you don't have as much access to some other things. I could be wrong, because we do have a lot of access like chaos units and stuff like that, so I could be very wrong in it. It's just my initial feeling is that I want a little more variety out of the World Eaters, and maybe that's just how I felt with World Eaters in general. And maybe that's a big reason why the Deamonkin is such an appeal to me. So with the Deamonkin, you're allowed to take 1,000 points of demon. This is the only way we can take demons now in World Eaters. We get the Blood Tithe pool, which allows us to spend points that we earn from destroying units on abilities that we get for the rest of the game, such as Lance, Feel No Pain versus Psychic Immortals, being able to use Blessings, and a 4-up invulnerable save. Not in a specific order on that. You get 1,000 points of demons that you can use. Now remember, things like Demon Prince and Demon Prince with Wings are actually World Eaters. This is specifically Blood Legion units, which is a different keyword. Now, with that being said, Blood Legion do not get the Blessings of Khorne in most conditions. There is the 5 Blood Tithe point ability that lets you get blessings for your demon units. Now, granted, that means you got to take out 5 units or destroy a character or monster. Yeah, monster. Destroy a character or monster, spend a command point, and then you get D3 Blood Tithe point right there. So if you destroy the character monster, you get 1 Blood Tithe point, and then you're going to get D3. I'll have to look at the wording and make sure you still get that original 1. I think you still get the 1, and then you get additional D3 on top of it. So cool, you roll a 3, now you got 4. Destroy 1 more unit, bam, you got blessings for the game. There is a enhancement that gives you an aura of it. Honestly, that's probably the better way to go than trying to get up to the 5. I think out of the Blood Tithe, the biggest one to me is try to get Lance as fast as possible. Lance is the big one. You have a strat that you can kick that over to your regular World Eater units if it's in effect. And then there's there's a strat that lets you basically kick that over to a World Eater's unit. It gives them Lance if they're near a demon unit. If that ability is in effect, if you have the Lance ability as one of your Blood Tithe abilities active, now that World Eater's unit gets twin linked. Well, let's go back over into the blessings. And if you know that this stuff is set up and you can make this all happen and you have this whole mixture, it's not a chance, then you can take devastating wounds off of the blessings table. So now your World Eater units are coming in with twin linked and devastating wounds. That's the combo there. That's the combo we're all always searching for, is when we see a unit that has devastating wounds, like, man, how do I get reroll wounds? How do I get twin linked? How do I boost this? Because once those things trigger, and once you have reroll wounds or twin linked in this case, with the devastating wounds in combat, now the damage output and the devastation that goes for that unit just flies through the roof. Because if you're only able to wound on 6s, you're rerolling everything. If you're able to wound on like 5s, you may still reroll everything just to get those devs, or you may keep the 5s and reroll into it for a lot of wounds, with some things having higher AP and value like that. There's a lot with it. It's so good, so strong, and 1 command point right there. Another big enhancement, my favorite enhancement, you give this to a Juggernaut Lord, and now this changes all the rules and gives all the rules. So you go and give your Juggernaut Lord an enhancement that now lets him lead a squad of Fleshhounds or Blood Crushers. Now, when a Juggernaut Lord leads a unit, that unit then gets boosted to 10-inch move. Blood Crushers are already 10-inch. Okay, so we don't get anything there. The unit can pass through walls and units horizontally. This thing goes ethereal. So now your Blood Crushers that are mounted can go through walls and just charge things. You have the Instrument of Chaos and the Blood Crushers giving you +1 to charge. So and then you have deep strike that the unit gets plus the Lord has. So you could put these guys in deep strike, drop them in 9, and have an 8-inch charge. And then on top of all that, now remember how I said you don't get blessings? Well, you're led by a World Eater's unit. World Eater units get blessing. Also, when you read the blessing rule, the last sentence of it helps confirm this. And this is with the whole leader thing. It says, all World Eater units. Now, yes, this is a Blood Pack unit or a Blood Legion unit, but it is also a World Eater unit, as much as a infantry character leading a squad of beasts, a la Wraiths and Necrons, that is a infantry unit as well as a beast unit, or et cetera, with all those things, those keywords that are given to it. This is both. This is a World Eater's unit. They will get the blessings as well. And the easiest blessing to get is double ones any doubles or double ones, in this case, for reroll failed charges. They have an 8-inch charge out of deep strike. I mean, you just crash. And even more so, for some reason, they rewrote the rule for just the Blood Crushers on these guys. These guys, maybe there's a couple other ones, but these guys definitely have it. So whenever you complete a charge, you roll a dice for every model in the unit. Not every model in engagement range, every model in the unit. So this will be an additional 1 because of the Lord, so you get 7 dice. For every D3 roll of 4, you roll, I believe it's 4 up, you do D3 mortal wounds. It's a lot of damage that you can do just on impacts, and then finish them off with a charge. The Lord also helps so that if you do that damage and they try and keep the wide bases out of there, you are able to attack within 3 inches. So you don't have to be within an inch. You can be within 3 inches of an enemy model and attack, or be right up to a model of yours that's already in engagement. So this means that you can get a lot of these guys in there and keep the flow going, even after doing the impact damage from these guys. Blood Crushers, man, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Like I said, they just get all the rules. And then there is a 1 CP strat that at the end of your opponent's turn, you can pick them up, put them back in deep strike. Other things that up down are going to be the Flesh Hounds. I like them. Probably going to take some 5-mans of them. They're an up-down unit. They're 2 wounds apiece, a 5-up invuln, and they're demons. So yeah, they're going to be really good for doing secondary. I'll probably run 2 squads of them. Jackals will probably have a play because there is another strat. And this is why I say I need a Forge Fiend. Because the one stratagem, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, that is trash. Until we actually got the full codex reading from it. So I think pretty much every Deamonkin is going to run 2 10-man squads of Bloodletters for this strat alone. And you put them in deep strike. For one command point, whenever a unit is destroyed, before the last model is removed, so you have to be very specific and leave 1 model on the table, you can then place this unit wholly within 9 inches of that model. That squad of Bloodletters for 1 command point. Whenever a unit is destroyed. Any unit. This can be yours or your opponent. So here are some tricks that we're thinking about here with this. Number 1, you can get this done on turn 1. Because you're just taking the unit from strategic and put it on the table. There's no turn restriction for it. So you can do this turn 1. If, let's say, my Forge Fiend is able to destroy a unit in a shooting phase, I can spend a command point, put the Bloodletters on the table over there, and now you have, and now I can then charge with them because we go into the charge phase, and I can charge and tie something up that's a really good shooting threat. Moving things across the table like spawns and jackals. Things have really good overwatches, and I go running into it. They go, okay, well, I'm going to overwatch you. Cool. You overwatch, you finish me off. Now I'm going to spend a command point and bring in a squad of Bloodletters. Now you can only do this once per battle round, which, yeah, okay, fine. But now you just literally are bringing these units there. I mean, your opponent shoots one of your units off an objective and goes, haha, you don't score primary. You go, haha, I spend 1 command point. Boop, put squad on the table. And then going into your opponent's turn, when your opponent destroys the unit and you have a position where it's like, okay, well, you don't have anything that's going to charge me, or you already charged and fought, so we're past that now. We're past shooting. We're past all those points where you can actually engage me and engage with my units. I can now put this unit on the table, and in my turn, move and then charge them. This is a big reason why I love the Lance blood tie thing and really want to get to that as quick as possible, because then with these guys, they're strength 5, so they can get to 2s to wound on everything toughness 4 and down real easily. Bloodletters are only 2 attacks apiece, but hey, being able to slap that 90-point unit right in your opponent's face like that, thing of beauty. I would almost consider running 3, but I feel like there's so much other good stuff that I want to run that it's hard to actually put the third one down on the table. And then as far as other demon units are concerned, Bloodthirster, like I mentioned, you can get enhancements on him, which makes him really cool. He's very strong. Now remember, these are, like I said, when I keep saying demons, I mean Blood Legion, because there are other units with a demon keyword. And prior to this, some of the things I was thinking were, what interactions are these going to have? Where are we targeting these things? And I'll tell you right now, none of although the 8-bound and exalted 8-bound and all that stuff have demon keyword, they don't get affected by any of the stuff from this detachment that isn't things that affect World Eater units, because it specifically targets the Blood Legion, which is the Khorne demon units. So that's going to be, that's a big thing if you're looking at the stuff going, oh man, but what about Exalted 8-bound? Can I do this with? No. Now, again, can give them Lance for a command point, as long as they're near a demon unit, so also having those demon units as a buff, having the Blood Legions out there. But yeah, the other ones, is there any demon units that I forgot that maybe I'm just not running right now? I think that's it, because like I like a lot of the demon units. They're very good. I'm not running a Bloodthirster yet, just because of his cost. And then taking a Demon Prince out of his attachment. He's technically a World Eater's unit, but he gets an enhancement that just makes him just wreck things. Being able to get up to flat 4 damage, so good, so strong. And he's got Lone Op too, so he's a tough cookie. Especially when he gets into stuff, you really need to hurt him. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the demon units. I don't think I forgot anybody in there. Someone's going to tell me, like, oh, you forgot these guys. And like, I'm sorry, then I'll feel obligated to start running that demon unit. But yeah, there's, as far as like the rest of the World Eater stuff and like what I'm looking forward to, I already talked a lot about the Berserkers. 8-bound got separated very strong. Like, the 8-bound are anti-infantry. The Exalted 8-bound are anti-vehicle. Exalted are a little more expensive because of that anti-vehicle aspect to them. Both have a 10-inch move. Both are very good. I think that it just comes down to they're fixers in a sense. When you build the army and you start to see where you're at for their heavy anti-vehicle, anti-tank, anti-big stuff, then you might want to go more with the Exalt with the regular 8-bound. And then vice versa. They're good fixers for what their point cost is. I don't know which one I'm going to run yet. I got to start building up lists and seeing. I might go 3 and 3, 3 Exalted and 3 of the regular 8-bounds. But there is a part of me that kind of just wants to take a 6-man of regular 8-bound, slap Avocatus on there because he's still good. Or because I can't get. Outside of the box, I can't get the new character where I'd love to run him. But yeah, just kind of have one of them to rush around the field, especially with some of the detachment buffs. Being able to get to the Twin Link Devastating Wounds, potentially, off those guys, especially later in the game, means that their high volume attacks, being able to have devastating wounds, that's kind of appealing. Yes, they don't have the tank high strength damage aspect that the Exalted have, but they're able to wash that kind of with, okay, but we have devastating wounds to go through. Now, yes, you'd say, okay, they both have dev, but now we have volume of attacks. So kind of where I'm leaning with there is some things I'm thinking about. I am curious I want to see more on that new character. I thought about trying to convert one out of the Exalted, out of a 8-bound box. So I'm kind of at a point right now where I have 6. And this is kind of some opinions, see what some of you guys are thinking about out there. So obviously I need to get my hands out of Forge Fiend and Terminators. Number 1 is the Forge Fiend. Terminators, I could wait. Forge Fiend, I cannot find that thing anywhere. So I'm in the hunt for a Forge Fiend right now. Curious on what you guys are doing your loadouts as. Keep Deamonkin in mind for what I'm trying to do. And let me know what you guys think. But when we're talking about the 8-bound, so unless you buy the big box, which doesn't have anything in it I need, so to me it's not reasonable. What are people looking at for conversions that don't involve 3D prints? I was considering, so I have 3 Exalted and 6 Standard. I was considering picking up another box of 8-bound, turning them into all Exalted. So I'd have 2 6-man squads of both a squad of Exalted and a squad of Standard 8-bound that would both be 6-man squads. Then get another box of Exalted and make 2 of them into champions. So if I decide to run them as just 2 3-mans, which is going to probably happen at sometimes, I have champions to go in each one to keep them Wiswig. But then I'd have 1 model left over. So that's where I'm kind of looking at going, okay, could I make this new guy out of it? Now, what it seems is that he's significantly bigger. Not sure. Like, number one, I can just put him on a bigger base. I can do some modifications and put him on a little bit more terrain. But how big is the actual model? He looks similar in size. So let me know what you guys are thinking about that, because that's kind of where I've been leaning, since I don't know when exactly he's going to come out. And I really do. I mean, I want him. I'd get him if I could, but I can't bring myself to buy that box just for that one model when I have no use for 30 jackals. And I mean, I honestly, right now, I'd probably be more compelled to buy 1 box of 8-bound and do that and do the champions now and get the extra for Exalted later. I feel like 8-bound themselves, the standard ones, it's kind of where it's going to be right now. And I'd rather just have that extra champion in case I want to do 2 3-mans. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's kind of where I'm at right now as far as the modeling aspect of that goes. I have been hitting the ground running with all this stuff. I got the Blood Crushers built. So in 1.5 days, after getting done with the work week and having a change of schedule, in 1.5 days, I built 6 Blood Crushers, Scarbrand, an Impulsor, and started a Redemptor Dread. I'm going to go after this and prime these guys. And yeah, so I got a lot built and I'm continuing on that. I have a lot that I'm doing. When I say Impulsor, that's part of my commission stuff, so don't worry. I'm not doing any Marine stuff. This is where I'm at right now. Demons, baby. Demons. And they're not Xenos, Lane. They're not. So that means you don't get your silly Deathwatch buffs against them. They're not Xenos. They're demons. They're chaos. They're Hereticus. They're different. All right. That's everything. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.